Hi guys, welcome back to Matusi's channel. This is Morova, you know the vibes, you know what time it is. Today I'm gonna be reviewing Nastacy's album. I love it here and I love it. I won't even lie to you. Obviously, a lot of people, when it dropped, I think it dropped on the 15th of September, and it dropped with Casper's album, Solomon, and obviously people were gonna like compare the albums. And firstly, I want to say, before I go into like Nasty C's album, I want to say that those albums are like completely different. There's no reason to compare, but obviously it's natural, especially the fact that they dropped on the same day, and they're both rappers, so it's natural. But stop it. Anyway, I love it here. It's just such a it's a breath of fresh air. Like, it's so refreshing, and it's such a well constructed album and a well thought out album, because you can hear from all the songs that Nasty C was very intentional. He was very introspective. He was very honest in the music in that album, and he mentioned it in a few interviews, and like that this was his most honest project. And you can hear in the music that he really tapped into his emotions, and I absolutely love that. The opening song, it's she's gone. Well, he addresses his mom's passing. Rest in peace to her. He talks about how she was killed and how life was after that tragic incident. And then he's just acknowledging her passing, and getting used to her not being around, even though she died when he was a baby. I can only imagine that he has like no recollection of like any memory of his mother, and that's very sad. So that's where he talks about her being gone. And then the end, where like it was that phase, like she was gone, so it was the end of that phase. And then Sam moves into her poem, where she talks about a rebirth, the beginning, and like life not you shouldn't like give up, and like life is endless, something like that. Excuse me. And then that's when Endless comes in. Like, I love that transition. Like, that song is just, no, that is a summer jam. Like, when it dropped, it was an instant hit. I loved it right away. And he basically talks about excuse me, the love he receives from his supporters, and how it's endless, and because he gets the love and he gives it back to them, so it's endless. It's just ongoing. It's ever flowing. So he's just talking about how he's still like getting used to that thing of being a role model, like being a public figure, getting so much love from strangers, and it's overwhelming, and also like very humbling to him, because he acknowledges that people see what he does and people love what he does, and in doing so he loves them back, because at the end of the day he also does this for his supporters. So they give him love, he gives it back to them. So the love is endless. It keeps on going. And then crazy I don't know how I feel about that song. It's vibey, it's catchy. I don't really know how I feel about it. It's a nice addition. You can tell, like, with Endless and like these upbeat songs in the album, that he was in a very good space. He was in a very wholesome space. He was happy. Like everything was going right in his life. He's in a wholesome relationship. He just had a child. His career is like booming, like he's doing the most. So that's the central message in the album. Him saying I love it here. The here is like all these things in his life, like his relationship, his little family, like the birth of his son. He is mending his relationship with his father in real time. So he's also like acknowledging how that is also adding to the goodness in his life. The people in his life are doing good. His career is doing good. So like everything like is doing good. So that's why he's saying he loves it here. So as I was saying, I don't know how I feel about Crazy Crazy. It's vibey. I don't really have any opinions on it. But again, it just adds to the whole wholesome feel of the album. So I'm not too mad. I just don't know how I feel about it. I don't hate it. I don't necessarily love it. It's just okay. Release Me. Wow. That is my jam. That is my jam. Okay, like like when like he's literally like in his bag, he's like, bro, like I do not want to participate in all those toxic things. Like release me. I have a series to binge on. I just made like the meanest fried chicken. Like leave me alone, let me live my life. And then when he says he feels bad for portraying like a life that he doesn't necessarily live, like maybe saying that he was with I don't know, like girls in the club, whereas he spends most of his time with the woman that he loves. He's in the house most of the time playing I don't know, like watching TV or like eating or something. He doesn't see his friends much because like he's being a homebody, like he's in his like wholesome boy era. So he feels like he's deceiving his listeners by saying that he's doing all these things, all these outrageous things, when he's basically just a simple guy. He just loves his girl, just spends the whole day doing whatever in the house, and that's literally just him. So I absolutely love it. He's like, no, like I'm not that guy. Like I know I say I'm that guy, but I'm really not that guy. This is who I am. Like release me. I love it. Oh, fuck that. Basically carrying the same message as release me. Basically just saying fuck all those other things, that I'm not about that life. So yeah, basically I don't do those things. I'm not a part of that. I don't know those people. Fuck that. And then broken marriages. He previewed this song I think a month or two before the album dropped, and I heard the first verse. I was like, damn, okay. He's of course addressing his father's failed marriages, and perhaps all the other marriages he has witnessed growing up. So he's talking about how they affected his upbringing as well as his view of marriage and relationships and commitment, and how those broken marriages basically broke him as a person as well. Because you can imagine that if you grow up in a household that is maybe your parents are in a volatile marriage, the arguments, there's fighting and whatever, of course you're going to view marriage in a very, very bad way, because you're gonna think, okay, these are the people like raising me, and if they can do this in front of me, then obviously this is what's going on outside, like this is how marriage is, so I don't want that. So basically, yeah, that's what he's talking about. He was affected by all the bad, broken marriages he has witnessed in his life. So he mentioned that his dad and his mom, I'm not sure if he's talking about maybe his stepmom or what, because he can't necessarily be talking about like his biological mom, because like he can't say that his mom, his like real mom, had a hand in him being how he is, because she wasn't there. But probably he's talking about his stepmother, however many, I don't know how many times his dad like remarried, but so he was basically talking about that he fed off all the things that he saw when like he was around his parents, around his dad, how his dad maybe spoke about his mom, how his mom spoke about the dad, how they acted around each other, the kids and whatever. So obviously that adds on to maybe the resentment, or maybe how you view marriage, and maybe you decide, I don't want this, I don't want this type of commitment, because maybe this is how it's gonna end up. So yeah, it'd be that way. And then we move to Prosper in Peace. The owner of this channel doesn't like this song, and I don't hate it. It's just that other song. It's not really my favorite. I don't really have any views. I get what he's saying. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But basically, he's just saying that people are hating on him. And at the end, of course, he mentions that he's not blind to the hate. He sees and hears what people say about him, but he tries his hardest to work hard and like, I don't know, like maybe like do better and like focus on like the positives, focus on like his supporters, his real supporters, his family, his people, and like try to ignore, even though like it's really hard sometimes to ignore when people just keep like bashing you. I can imagine that a lot of these rappers, like they search their names on Twitter and they will find like people just bashing, like one random person will just say, no, I don't like this album, and then these rappers will just comment or say something, and they tend to ignore a lot of like the good things that are said about them. They ignore the fans, they ignore like the people that love them, and like they focus on the hate, which is very toxic. So he's like, no, it's not like I see it, but and of course it bugs me, but I'm trying to like focus on the positive. So focusing on the positive would be like maybe focusing on like his craft, focusing on his family, focusing on showing his supporters love. So obviously, it doesn't take away from the fact that there are people that hate him or hate his music, and of course he sees that, but he's like, okay, fine, I see you, I hear you, and I choose to ignore you. Bye. Sunset Walks. Here he features Teleman, and it's one of those. It's a love song. So I'm assuming it's dedicated to Nasty C's girlfriend. It's basically those wholesome songs. He is just basically just professing his love for her, and you can imagine how peaceful walking when the sun is setting, like how peaceful it is, like and when you actually acknowledge the sunset and how pretty it is, and if you're with your person, you can just imagine how nothing else matters. It's just you two, and like you're just focusing on that. Nothing else matters. Not the hate, not the fact that maybe you didn't pay rent. Like all these other things, these external factors don't matter at that moment. It's just you and your person, and I love that. So this time he's basically saying the same things. He's talking about being committed. How he is trying his best to do better and be a better person, talking about he won't let her down and stuff like that. So he's basically just carrying that same narrative, being committed to his girl. And then I Love You. I love you so much. It reminds me of Good Girls. I think it's from Bad Hair. Good girls saying, huh? Keep things on fun. It reminds me of that song. Obviously it's not the same vibe, but I love how he's rapping here, and he's basically talking about how he's talking about a girl that likes the limelight, likes the attention and whatever, but she doesn't like. So he's basically like talking about a girl who is blinded by the lights. She's blinded by the attention, and she's trying to like find her way in the industry, like getting with these random people, and she has her priorities like mixed up. So he's just like, I love you, don't do that, stop it. No More is also it was dropped as a single. I think it was the first single from this album. So he's also like talking about his come up, his upbringing, saying I used to be my mess nigga, not no more. So like he's just saying those things that he was whack. He was maybe not the most attractive, maybe, but he is up now. So bragging about his cars and stuff. So like, yeah, he's moved on from being that guy. He's up now. He's the guy. He is him. A song that I really feel like was unnecessary to add, not necessarily like unnecessary, but R.I.P. I feel like he kind of felt like people were gonna expect him to talk about AKA. So that's why he added it. It feels like it was just a filler. Of course, he's talking about AKA at the beginning, and you can hear that the song was actually about AKA. It's good at the beginning, and then he just mentions the other musicians that died. So he's like, yeah, Pro Kid, Flabber, Jabba, CT, and I'm just like, I doubt those people were meant to be in the song. Like, I doubt you were gonna mention those people, because after that it just ends and I'm just like, that's it. So I just feel like it was meant to be a tribute to AKA, just that maybe it was like an afterthought of like, oh, Gonje Mang Mang died, oh, him too, oh, let me just add these people. It will just be that filler. So I guess maybe he didn't want to feel bad about obviously AKA is the most recent death. No, wait, I think, who died first? I think AKA died, and then it was Kostatich. Rest in peace to them. So I guess he was just like, oh, Kunje, let me add everyone else, and I just feel like that was unnecessary. Like, if you're going to make a song about AKA, just make a song about AKA, because I don't think he had any type of like relationship with the other guys. Maybe, I don't know, but it just feels like they were like an afterthought. Like, he didn't have them there in the beginning, but then he was like, oh, Kunje, let me, So I just feel like, if anything, he shouldn't have added this song. Know Yourself, I feel like it's a continuation of I Love You. It's also like, it's giving Drake's Nice for What. He's like, girl, get the bag, get your hair done, do this, do that, like, ignore these bums, like, just do your own thing. Know yourself, know your worth. It's just that uplifting song. It adds, of course, to the wholesomeness of this album. He's just trying to uplift the listener, and I absolutely love this song. Of course, like, I think I Love You is my favorite, but like, I like that he was like, no, stop doing that, and then he's like, no, do this, like, you can do better. So I love that. See Me Now, I feel like See Me Now, he's talking, I want to say he's talking about his mother, because I'm not really sure. I wouldn't say he's talking about his girlfriend. It feels like he's saying that I wish you could see me now. I wish you could see how much I've grown, like, obviously as a man, as a person, as a musician. Like, I wish you could just see where I'm at. I wish you were here, and like, you could like come meet me, come see me. Like, I wish I could see you. It's very touching. Like, I won't even lie to you, like, it's very sad, but at the same time, I feel like you have to also like acknowledge those emotions. Like, in the first song, She's Gone, he acknowledged and he spoke about his mother, her death, and then he's like, I really wish you were here. I wish you could see what I'm doing. I wish you could see my son. I wish like my girlfriend like could have met you. Like, I wish you could see me do all these amazing things. I wish you were here. I wish you could see me now. And it's very touching. And then Temptations, he is talking about, I guess he's talking about like the industry temptations. Like, you're trying to be not necessarily the industry actually, because like there are different types of like temptations. Like, maybe you're tempted to do drugs, alcohol, you're tempted to cheat, you're tempted, like, different types of temptations. So like, at some point he says you're not gonna go outside with the Bible. So he's basically saying like, you're gonna leave the Bible behind. So hopefully, like, you carry the word wherever you go. Like, hopefully you are disciplined wherever you go. Hopefully you are not easily tempted. You won't fall for peer pressure. You won't fall for if you're in a relationship like he is, you won't be tempted by like the girls at the club. You won't be tempted by all these small things, because obviously he knows what he has. He has a family now. He knows that any mistake he can lose whatever he has. So he's trying to echo that thing of like, resist temptation and you'll be good, you'll go far. So I like that. So kill the noise. You know how people would use like different substances to like shut the noise, like if maybe they're going through something, so they maybe like drown their sorrows in alcohol or maybe drugs. So they're talking about that. The song also features MDB. They're saying you should acknowledge what you're doing, like what's happening. Well, Nestus at the beginning, he's talking about using different substances to numb the pain. And then MDB, he goes on to say that you should have hope and faith that everything will be fine. Maybe kill the noise with prayer, something like that. So just trust that God will fix everything for you, and there won't be any noise anymore. So just be faithful, just pray, and like be hopeful that whatever it is that's bothering you won't be there, because God will make it right. And then Pops, he is talking about his dad. Like I mentioned at the beginning, he is mending his relationship with his dad in real time. He mentioned that he got, well, I'm not sure which song it was, but he mentioned that he got some good traits from his dad, good and bad. And so he's very like grateful to his dad being solid and like raising him well, and like instilling belief in him, and like so like he feels like he didn't understand at the beginning. Maybe his dad was too hard on him, like maybe he was harsh or whatever. But now he feels like, okay, maybe you could have done something different, but I get it. Because I can imagine that when his mom died, when Nastasi's mom died, it was just his dad. And I can only imagine how much he struggled to keep the family together when it was just him. So probably he would just lash out, and Nasty C probably now understands, okay, like I see why this was happening. I see why he did this. Maybe he could have done some things differently, but I get where he was coming from, and I understand that he was probably under pressure. He was also going through his emotions because he also lost his wife. So it's that thing. He's like, no, I understand, and I'm proud of you. And also at the end, he mentioned that his dad told him that he is proud of him, and he said that it brought tears to his eyes, and that's very touching. So yeah, I like that song as well. Hard Choice, I think it's one of my least favorite songs. So Hard Choice, he is just talking about all the hard decisions he had to make and whatever. I don't really like the song like that. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I don't really like it, but it's one of those songs. Yeah, I don't really feel it. But I acknowledge that there are some people that like it, and it's not my cup of tea. And then Dear Oliver. Dear Oliver is his son. He's probably like 3 months now. So he just penned a song to his son and talking about how he wishes everything could have gone. Like when he said that his intentions were like, if and when he had a child, that him and his girlfriend would have been married, but it didn't go that way. So he's just talking about all that. He's talking about how he felt when like he found out that he was coming, and when Oliver was born, and all those things. So it's just a sweet letter to his son. And yeah, it's very, it also adds on to the wholesome feel of the song, of the album, I mean. And of course, it's a transition into like new life, because at the beginning, he's talking about the loss of his mother, and like she's gone and the end. So it's that thing of like he is it's death, and then it continues into like all these things that are happening in his life, his career, his relationship, and then it is new life at the end. He got his son, he has a family, he has new responsibilities now. So it's that thing of like, okay, I went through that to get this. So I guess you could see it as a win, but it also ties into like the whole wholesomeness of the project. I absolutely love this album, and I feel like I'm not even lying when I say it's the best project to drop this year in South Africa. I'm not even fronting, like I absolutely love it. What else? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to rate it. So I'll give this album, I'll give it an 8, solely because the 2 is for the other songs like R.I.P. They didn't need to be there, but I guess he felt the need. And obviously if Casper's gonna talk about AKA, then I guess he also felt the need to talk about AKA, and I suppose they had a good relationship. So he also was like, okay, I need to shout out Keenan and like show him love. So yeah, it's that thing. So it's a strong 8, a very, very strong 8. Best album to drop this year. So that's basically it. The production, I love the production. I feel like it's very cohesive. So yeah, everything, it really flows well. So I'm not mad at the production. I just don't like some of the songs that felt like fillers. So yeah, that is just me. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. I feel like it was very long, but thank you for watching this far, and please subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.